This is the new Mercedes S-Class. Now, you might not think it looks all that new, but it is. It's heavily revised. So it's got a whole host of new technology. It's got a new range of more efficient engines, and it's got some styling upgrades. So you now get the big grille like you did on the V12. It's on all models. There's new bumpers at the front and the back, and this new headlamp design. So the S-Class gets these three like LED eyebrow effects. The E-Class has two and the C-Class has one, to show they're standing in the range. You can think of it as being like this. Look there, one eyebrow, that's the C-Class. Two eyebrows, that's the E-Class. And three eyebrows, that's the S-Class. Definitely works better on a car. Now the S-Class starts from £72,000. If you click up there, you can go to carwow.co.uk and compare offers. Make sure you're not paying too much, because even if you can afford one of these, you're going to want some money for some options, because there's loads. Now if you spend an extra £3 grand, you get the long wheelbase version. But let's jump into the front first, see what it's like for the driver. Well, it's nice. It's very nice in here. I really like the design. So I think the design is more interesting than that you get with the new Audi A8. Yeah, it's just great. And I like it in this colour tone as well. It's really good, this two-tone kind of beige and brown. What's not quite as good, I don't think, as the A8 is overall quality. I mean, it's brilliant, but that seems a bit flimsy. Maybe the A8 just a little bit more robust, maybe slightly better made, but it's, you know, it's splitting hairs. Oh, yeah, you can really relax in here. Now you get loads of standard kit, obviously, with the S-Class, like all-round parking sensors, climate control and satellite navigation. These two huge digital screens, which are really crisp and sharp. What's new on this revised S-Class, though, is this steering wheel. So before, you used to have the controls for the cruise control here on a stalk, which is a bit ungainly. Now it's been shifted up here. You can also control this screen using this touchpad here, so I can cycle through different menus and dials there. So I've got the sat nav, and I can switch it across, then go through the different displays there as well. If I want, I can control this display with this touchpad here. It's all right to use, but I'd rather use the swivel wheel, even though it's a bit awkward and ungainly with this touchpad thing over the top. So it's a bit like it gives you RSI, but it's all right to use, and the infotainment system is pretty good in this car. I don't think it's quite as good as that in the BMW 7 Series. The iDrive is still the best, but I prefer it than the touchscreen system you get in the new Audi A8. I think Audi have made a mistake with that. I prefer these swivel wheels, to tell you the truth. Now, if you click up there, you can see my full in-depth video review of the infotainment system and have another good look around the car's cabin. In terms of storage, yeah, I like this. Look, that opens that way, but it also opens that way. That's really clever. You've got some cup holders here. There's a place for your key. You also have decent-sized door bins, really important in an S-Class. It will take a bottle of champagne. The glove box, though, is rather small. There is this thing in it, look, there we go. It's a scent. So you can have like fragrances wafting through the cabin. This one is called Freeside Mood, whatever that means. So this car actually has a wellness function, which you can press a button. It remembers the kind of settings that you like, and it'll alter the amount of air freshener going into the car and the different seating positions and stuff like that. You can also alter the LED lighting that you get shining through here and here. I've got it on purple at the moment, which is a bit burlesque, but you can also change it through a wide range of colours. I think there's 64 in total, so yeah, lots to choose from. Now let's move on to the boot. So it's big enough, right? This is a saloon car. You've got a nice wide opening, so it's not too difficult to load. One thing you can't do, though, is fold down the rear seats if you want to carry really longer items. If you want a luxury car that is pretty good for carrying lots of stuff, you might want to go for something like a Range Rover instead, because then you can fold down the seats. You do have some more storage under here. There's plenty of space under there, actually. There's also a couple of netted off areas there to keep smaller items secure. Now, if you click up there, you can watch my detailed practicality video on this car, see how much you can stuff into its boot, how easy it is to fit a child seat, and what it's like in the back seats. But let's find out now, shall we? Because that's really important on this car, especially as it's the long wheelbase version. So, yes, look at this. It's very sumptuous here. Now, you can get the car with a bench seat in the back if you need to carry three, but this two-seater version is much better. I'm going to press this button here and put the car into full first class mode. While it's doing its thing, moving the seat out of the way, I want to show you this. You've got a little cubby in there. Here you've got a couple of cup holders, and now I really like this. If you've got a cold drink, you can press this button and it'll chill it. Or if you've got a hot drink, you put it in there, press the button again, and it'll heat it. Now, as you can see, the chair's moving out of the way, and it's going to do something pretty cool in a moment. Let's let it do its thing. It's not the fastest. Come on, Mercedes. Now it's reclining my chair so I can get nice and comfy. I've also got this sumptuous pillow. It's absolutely glorious. Now look at my legs. It's raising up. Oh, this is the way you want to travel. And then a little bit extends this footstool at the back of the seat in front. Now all I have to do is shut the blinds and then I can nod off, because after all, car reviewing is very, very tiring work.
Now you know what this car is like on the inside, let's find out how it drives.
Now the S-Class may be a big car, but it's surprisingly easy to drive in town. Part of the reason for that is the steering. It's nice and light, which makes low speed manoeuvres a doddle. Also, visibility is really good, so there's hardly any blind spots. You've got a big back window, so there's a good view out the back. And I like the fact that the Mercedes emblem kind of acts like a gun sight to aim you down the road. Then there's a suspension, so this car rides on standard fit air suspension, and it's really nice and smooth and wafty. There is one thing though, you do notice that when you hit a very sharp bump or pothole, it does send a bit of a shock through the cabin. Now if you want more information on what this car's like to drive, click it there to watch my point of view test drive video. Now as you speed up and get out on the motorway, the air suspension really does come into its own. It just floats this car down the road. It's almost like you're flying just above the surface. It really deals well with like undulations. It's glorious, and you can assume the classic Mercedes S-Class driving position, which is just like this, because it's just very, very relaxing. Part of the reason for that is the soundproofing. So, well, let me get to 70. There we go. So I'm now doing 70. It's just very, very quiet, isn't it? And the next thing to mention is this engine. So the Mercedes S-Class gets a new range of engines, and I've got a straight six 2.9 litre diesel in this car. You can get it in 2 power outputs. This is the lower power version with 286 horsepower, but lower power, yeah, it does not feel like that at all. It's a very strong engine. It'll do 0 to 60 in just 6 seconds. And look at this, right? If I go to about 40 miles an hour, plant my right foot, look at that speed build. I am now doing 70. It's effortless, and it doesn't even sound like a diesel, and it's smooth, almost like a petrol. Yeah, Mercedes says it'll do over 50 odd miles per gallon, and I'm actually averaging 38.6. That's really, really good for a car of this size. You can, of course, get a straight six 3 litre petrol engine turbo, and that's 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. It's really, really lovely. And of course, there's V8s in the AMG versions, which are just bonkers fast, but you don't really need them. In terms of the gearbox, all cars get a 7-speed auto, and it's really smooth and slick. You can control the gears yourself using the pedals, but you're in an S-Class, so why bother, you know? Let it do the work for you. Another thing worth noting is that you can get the car with all-wheel drive, though it's not standard like it is on the new Audi A8. Now, once you move off the motorway and get on a twisty road, the S-Class doesn't let you down there either. So at the flick of a switch, I can put it into sport mode. There we go. And it stiffens up the suspension, stops the body roll. And for a big car, it actually goes round corners really well. And maybe now I will use the pedal shifters so I can get more involved with the experience. What really helps it is that steering. While it was nice and light when going slowly, now it's got weight to it and gives you a lot of confidence. I don't think your VIP in the back would like you driving like this, but if you haven't got anyone to chauffeur around, you can actually have a bit of fun in an S-Class.
But what about if you don't want to be so involved with the driving? No problem, the S-Class's upgraded cruise control system can help.
The clever active control system will read the road ahead, and it'll steer to keep you in lane. Look, there we go, it's steering automatically, but I shouldn't take my hands off for too long because then it will disengage. It'll also keep you a safe distance from the car in front, and it'll automatically brake if the car in front of you brakes, and it'll do it right down to a standstill. So I'm braking now. Look, my feet, look, they're not on the pedals. And if the car in front stops, so too will my S-Class. There we go. And if he moves away again, it should start and move away. Come on, car. If I hit resume, off we go. Another neat trick is that the car will actively slow for things like toll booths, if you have a change of speed limit, and if you're approaching something like a roundabout. It's brilliant! That's just so relaxing, this is. Look!
The system will even change lanes for you on the motorway. All you have to do is use its indicator to let it know which way you want to overtake, and the car will automatically make the manoeuvre if it's safe to do so. However, not everything about the S-Class is good. Here's 5 annoying things about it.
In right-hand drive versions of the S-Class, the steering wheel is a little bit offset to the left, so you feel a bit twisted behind the wheel. You see, the steering wheel really should be about here, but no, it's here. For some reason, you don't get rear privacy glass as standard. It's a £345 option, which is a little bit odd on a car such as this, because, yes, I'm just too rich to be seen. As part of the midlife facelift, Mercedes has gone and made the fake exhaust even more fake. I mean, you really do think that's a proper tailpipe on this diesel car, but actually, the real exhaust for it is under there. The charlatans. These rear displays may look like tablets, but you can't operate them by touch, which seems a bit ridiculous when you're so close to them. Instead, you have to use a controller, so I'm going to press the button on the controller. This just seems ridiculous. But, hey-ho. I absolutely love these airplane-style work tables. They just feel glorious and very expensive. The only problem is that if you put your laptop on there and you're a bit of a keyboard basher like me, your laptop bounces around all over the place and then you end up writing a load of gobbledygook. I'm better at presenting than I'm writing.
Don't worry, there's still plenty to like about this car. Here's the CarWow 5 cool features.
The multi-beam LED headlights are as bright as a headlight is legally allowed to be, and they can shine up to 650 metres of the road. Prepare to be blinded. You can get a wireless charging dock for your mobile phone here in the back seats. And if you're really low on battery but you need to make a call, you can use this Bluetooth handset instead. Yeah? Yeah? There's no one there, really. It's just acting. If you get the S-Class with Magic Body Control, cameras can read the road ahead, and if they spot bumps, they'll lift the suspension up to smooth out the bump. Also, with the curve tilt function, the car will actually lean into a bend like a motorcycle to aid the handling. Yeah, CarWow, we've got the best camera special effects. The new Car2X technology allows Mercedes cars to talk to one another to warn of traffic jams, but also accident black spots. So it's a little bit like Waze for your mobile phone, but better. The S-Class uses a 48-volt electrical system, which is more than 4 times that you get on a normal car. And it needs that extra power in order to run all the gadgets you can get on this car. It also drives a compressor which blows air into the turbocharger, so you get an instant response from the engine. And I'll show you where it is now. It's just somewhere... Actually, I have no idea what's going on under there. I'll just put that... Yeah, I also don't know how to fit that either. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner up there or on the link below the video, you can go to carwow.co.uk to see the best deals you can get on the Mercedes S-Class. So then, what's my verdict on the car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Mercedes S-Class. It really is a very good luxury limousine. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. And click on the window to watch the detailed practicality and infotainment videos for this car. Now, despite the Easter egg in this video, it was the picture of Carl Benz in the rear cubby.